Surprise eggs. It's time for one of the most predatory cosmetic systems in a video game right now. I got a fucking legendary. I got Dark Hoop Bruce. I got fucking Shaq Bruce, huh? Alright, well that's weird. Uncommon. Time to interact with the most predatory system designed, like one of the most predatory microtransaction models. At this point they're just transactions though, but like, so it's fucking 120 of these fake dollars. It's 120 fake dollars. You can buy 1,200 of them for $9, which means you can spin the wheel 10 times for $9, right? And then they have these fucking cookies, which you can convert the money into. So it just dilutes your perception of what it is that your money is worth even further. On top of the fact that they have a weekly rotating item shop, so you have FOMO on the weekly. They have a daily rotating item shop, so you have FOMO on the daily. And at some point, I imagine they're going to have a paid season pass. If we fucking find that. Yeah, here we go. There's no paid version of this, which is okay for now. They're probably going to have a paid for version of this at some point. At least I would assume any game that's got a season pass model like this does end up doing that, which will further dilute your perceptions of reality even more. I assume this means you get, what is that? 3,000 every fucking time you go past that, I imagine? I have no idea. They give you a decent amount of the fucking, like, fun dollars in the season pass if you play the game long enough, which is fine, but it's just a predatory system that it, like, uses all of the... It realistically uses, like, all of the, like, please stop doing this methods, on top of the fact that it has... not only does it, like... Okay, so I guess... I sort of passed over this aspect of it, going over what the dollars cost, and, like, the whole, like, this costs money. You can buy this with money, and then you can buy these with conversions from the money that you buy with money. So it's a double dilution of what it is that your perception of that value is, to sort of make you forget that you're spending money. But if you don't have these fucking coins, which you can get through the season pass, you get to spend these. So this is how they get you, like, hooked on rolling. And then you get to... There's no indication on what these are worth or what the perception or the percentages of, like, getting any rares or anything is. As far as I know. It could be wrong. But it's a bad system because it's literally loot boxes. Everyone knows loot boxes are bad. I think this might be the last loot box game that I've seen that's out that isn't, like, a MOBA. I think Smite still does loot boxes, but this is effectively just a loot box. And I mean, like... Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. That fucking sucks. So that's another thing. So that makes you feel... So it just glowed gold, even though it was a common. That's tough. There's no... It's good to know, just in case you needed to. It doesn't ask you, are you sure you want to use your money on the spin? It just did it. I didn't have a second chance. I misclicked that. And it made me spend 120 of these dollars. 240 of these, mind you, so that's 2 spins is 179. And obviously, if you wanted 10 spins, it would cost less if you went this route. Regardless, it's a predatory microtransaction system, and it's really the only thing that I can see about this game that is, like, a legitimate criticism. It's a $20 game, so I get that a game that's sort of like this is going to have systems that play post-launch, post the amount of money that it is that you're spending to get it to monetize, and it needs to be able to come out with this kind of stuff, which is fine. I think, well, not think, I know that this system is super predatory. and it plays on literally all of the like psychology that every mobile game does to sort of make it so you have FOMO on this, you have FOMO on this. The weekly rotating shop, the daily rotating shop. They have, what the fuck are redeems? Okay, well, they have codes to think about, sure. Again, the whole dilution of the currency. You can't just spend money on the rolls, so you don't know how much money you're spending on rolls. You have to spend money to buy these in order to roll. And then you can also spend money on to get the dollars so that you can convert it into these so that you can buy these. It's a lot. There's a lot going on here. And it's all not great. And then on top of all of that extra horse shit, here's the loot boxes. And not only is it loot boxes, it's literally jackpot. Like, it's literally a fucking roulette wheel. Or not a roulette wheel, but it's like a fucking... Christ, it's a slot machine. It's actually a slot machine that gives you a loot box. So even if what it is that you spend gives you that false perception that like you got something of value, if you got a common, it gives like it's not really a win. But it gives you that false perception of winning because that's how it works. That's the psychology behind it. So yeah, it's not great. Everything else about this game is fantastic. So take that with a grain of salt. The gameplay is really good. Everything is super tight. The gameplay is, well, I said gameplay already, but like the gameplay honestly is like the best part of it. It's super fun. There's not really a moment where I think that the game is, well, I guess that's not necessarily true. Every now and then the physics can be wonky, but that'll happen anytime in like a physics-based, it's not a brawler, but it kind of is. Just a physics-based stage fighter for the most part. It'll have stuff like that, where the physics will get a little weird and sometimes they're inconsistent. But for the most part, I think that this game is solid. I think that the way that it is monetized is going to give it that perception, or that, should I say, it's going to give it that negative perception that people won't like about it. And that's a totally fair criticism because the way that they're monetizing it is really bad. And it's super predatory, and I don't think that it has any place in modern gaming, especially in a game that isn't a mobile game. Like if this was a mobile game and it cost $2 or it was even free to play, I could give it a pass on all that extra stuff except for the loot boxes. But this is a $20 game, and it monetizes itself like it's a free to play mobile game, which isn't good. So yeah, hopefully that gets fixed. It probably won't unless there's a huge amount of backlash from the community. And I know gamers complaining about the way games are monetized anymore is mostly just people virtue signaling, and to a greater or lesser extent, that's kind of true. I don't really think that is. Just in terms of like, a lot of gamers don't care, and that's fine. Like it sucks that it is the way that it is, but at the same time, there's not a whole lot that you can do to change that. So, you know, it is kind of how it's going to be, unless there's a huge backlash and a wave of criticism that hits this game. And it kind of has, because this is on Steam at the very least. The reviews are mixed, which is surprising again, because everything about the game other than the monetization scheme is good. At least for what it is, for what the game is, it's really good. It looks great. It runs well on my system. I have a 4070 Ti and a i7 13700K or something. I have a decent computer. It's one that should be able to run this. It does it at 300 FPS. It's fine. I don't know how this game runs on lower end machines. I imagine it's also fine. Just because there's not a whole lot going on intensively. The graphics, it looks good. Like, this is some of the better chibi furry models I've ever seen, which is good. There's not a whole lot of animation to have to worry about, but yeah. Hopefully it gets fixed. I'm sure it won't. It's good. It's a really good game. Buy it. I'm not sponsored, by the way, obviously, because I am criticizing it very heavily. Although I guess you could get sponsored and criticize something, but usually that isn't what happens. They sort of frown upon that, I would imagine. But anyway, buy this game. It's really fun. I will see you in the next one. I appreciate you for being here. Don't die, everybody. Yeah, no, please don't die. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one.